The display property defines the display behavior of an element, determining its rendering on the screen. In this tutorial, we will explore some common display values in CSS, which include block, inline, inline-block, flex, and grid. We will examine each of these values in detail, demonstrating their practical applications and appropriate usage scenarios. Let's start with block display. When you set an element to display as block in CSS, it behaves like a block-level element. Essentially, it spreads out to fill the entire width available, starting fresh on a new line. To illustrate this, we'll create a section with the ID block display. Inside, there'll be a straightforward heading indicating the display style we're using. Then, we'll add a div with the class block element, containing a simple sentence. By duplicating this div to get a second sentence, we'll observe how block display operates. Set the display to block. Add a light blue background color. Add some padding of 10 pixels, and set a margin of 5 pixels on the top and bottom and 0 pixels on the left and right. This will effectively demonstrate the block display behavior. Please note, I just added the background color and padding to make the elements visually distinct. I will create a new section and give it an ID. This section will have a simple heading. Next, I'll add a span with the class inline element that contains a random sentence, and I'll duplicate it to create a second span. Let's see how this works. I will define this class to display the elements inline, and add a green background to highlight them for better visibility and distinction. Additionally, I'll add 10 pixels of padding inside the elements and a small margin between them to prevent them from touching directly. In short, with inline display, the element blends into the text flow, just like words in a sentence, without starting a new line. It only occupies the space it needs. To demonstrate inline block display, we'll use this section, and target this class. First, we'll set its display to inline block, its width to 100 pixels, and its height to 50 pixels. Then, we'll give it a light coral background, some padding, and margin. Finally, we'll center align the text inside. This property allows the element to flow in line with text while also allowing for the setting of width, height, padding, and margin properties. It behaves like an inline element regarding its positioning in the document flow, but retains the block-level properties such as setting width, height, and alignment. To illustrate the Flexbox display, we'll use this section. First, set the display to Flexbox. Align the flex items along the main axis with space around, which distributes the items evenly, creating equal space around each one. Center the items vertically. Add a background color to visualize the container, and finally, add some padding inside the container to create space around the content. Let me also target the individual flex items. Set the background color of each flex item to light blue. Add a 5-pixel margin around each flex item and a 20-pixel padding inside. Set the flex property to 1. Finally, center the text horizontally inside each flex item. The Flexbox layout is a one-dimensional layout model used to arrange items in a single direction, either as a row or a column. Flex items grow and shrink based on the available space. Let's use these grid items to show how the grid display works. First, we'll set up the container to use the CSS grid layout. Then, we'll divide the grid into 3 equal columns, making each one the same width. We'll also add some space between the grid items. To make the container stand out, we'll give it a light gray background color. Finally, we'll add some padding around the container's content to create a bit of space. For each grid item, apply a light goldenrod yellow background color. Include a 20-pixel padding inside each grid item and ensure the text is centered horizontally within each one. So, a grid layout allows you to create a complex two-dimensional layouts with rows and columns. In conclusion, understanding the various CSS display methods, such as grid, flex, block, and inline-block, provides us with powerful tools to create diverse and responsive layouts in web development. Each method offers unique capabilities and advantages, allowing us to tailor our designs to meet specific requirements and achieve desired visual effects.